Ahora sí. Ahora sí, hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Buenos días desde México. Estoy viendo que ya tenemos a muchos esperando. Muchas gracias a todos los que se están conectando desde Colombia, desde otras partes de México. Muchas gracias también. Voy a decir un poquito, a dar una introducción un poquito a las personas que se van a conectar en inglés, para que también se puedan sentir bienvenidas. Hello to everyone, to all of the students that are English speakers. Thank you very much for being here. Today we are going to have this important session about the keynotes with the Professor George Vithoulkas. Okay. Thank you very much for being here. We are going to start in a moment. I am going to give the welcome in Spanish and then a little introduction about the keynotes, and then we are going to start. Ok, ahora sí, dice Patricia Barreto, dice que hay mucho eco. ¿Me podrían confirmar si se escucha bien, si se ve bien, por favor? Dice, hola Ros, saludos desde Monterrey. Samantha Ciabelli dice, hola desde Atenas, Grecia. Muchas gracias esta matina por estar aquí. Jovan Leiva también dice, saludos desde the United States. Excelente, muchas gracias. Dice Vicky Hurtado, saludo desde Cali, Colombia. Mariana Asensio, buenos días. Margarita Pérez dice, saludos desde Guatemala. Niha, hello from India. Hello, dear Niha. Andrea Rubio también dice, buenos días. Xochitl de la Vega dice, hola, buen día. Gosia Raxa dice, hello, Poland. Hello, dear Gosia. Thank you very much for being here. Berenice Valdés dice, hola, Berenice presente. Gracias por la invitación. Gracias a ti, Bere. Y también Classical Homeopathic Channel dice, very thanks. Thanks to you for being here. Patricia Barreto dice, mucho eco, buen día. Ahorita nada más si me terminan de confirmar si se escucha bien. Pramod Lanky, hello Maria. Hello dear Pramod. Thank you for being here. We're going to start the class in a moment. Dice Sujei, dice si se escucha bien, muchas gracias Sujei. Dice Manfred Braik, dice saludos desde Alemania. Hola, hello Manfred, guten Tag, guten Nacht. Muchas gracias también por estar aquí. Dice Eduardo Álvarez, dice hola, buenos días a todos, un placer coincidir y aprender. Gracias Fer y doctor Vithoulkas. Gracias a ti Eduardo. Dice Alfredo Pérez, saludos desde Jalisco, saludos. Saludos a mi paisano también, yo también soy de Jalisco. Dice Snihal Walung, dice hi Maria Mam. Hi dear Snihal, thank you for being here. Dr. Barsha dice hello dear Maria from India. Hello dear Barsha, thank you very much. And dice Classical Homeopathic Channel, I am Dr. Muhammad Akhtar from Pakistan. Wow, thank you very much for being here from Pakistan. Gosia Raxa, Niha Bhagwan. I'm a little, I don't know how to pronounce the names in English, the Indian names, but I think that your name is Niha, so thank you very much, Niha, for being here. Ok, bueno, pues muchas gracias a todos por esta bienvenida. Gracias por estar aquí. Voy a empezar a compartir mi pantalla rápidamente. Me pareció importante dar esta introducción breve sobre los Keynotes porque hay muchas personas que no tienen muy claro lo que son los Keynotes. Hay personas aquí que nos están acompañando que están aún empezando a estudiar, otras personas que no han estudiado nada sobre homeopatía y les gustaría estudiar. Entonces voy a dar esta introducción rápida. For all our English speakers, I am going to give a little introduction in Spanish language, and then we are going to start our class. Okay, thank you very much. So, aquí voy a dar una pequeñita introducción que habla sobre los Keynotes en las lecturas de filosofía homeopática de Kent, y esto sí lo voy a leer textual porque dice: el Keynote es una herramienta afilada que requiere la habilidad más consumada en su uso legítimo. Fue inventada por Hahnemann, mejorada por Bonninghausen, Staff y Herring, y perfeccionada por Guernsey y Lippe, y niquelada y pulida por la Asociación Internacional de Hahnemann. Es una condición propia del hombre habilidoso que ha dominado los principios de la homeopatía y tiene un conocimiento profundo de la materia médica. En manos de personas no cualificadas se convierte en el precursor del retroceso y dañará al usuario irreflexivo. ¿Por qué doy esta introducción? Porque muchas veces nos confundimos con los Keynotes pensando que si tenemos un Keynote en un paciente, esto es suficiente para poder prescribir el medicamento. El Keynote es muy importante siempre y cuando tengamos un conocimiento profundo del medicamento y que tengamos realmente la imagen del paciente. Entonces, aquí también es importante mencionar que los Keynotes ya se hablaba de Keynotes desde que Hahnemann escribió el organón, y aquí me gustaría preguntar a todos, ¿en qué parágrafo del organón Hahnemann nos habla de ellos? Y en inglés, in which paragraph of the organon Hahnemann spoke about the Keynotes? Si me pueden escribir en el chat, si alguien recuerda en qué parágrafo del organón Hahnemann habló por primera vez sobre los Keynotes. Vamos a darles un poquito de tiempo para que escriban, y si no, pues ahorita se lo decimos. Ya, muchas gracias, Manfred. Exactamente en el parágrafo 153, justamente Hahnemann no habló sobre ellos abiertamente, como nombrándolos como Keynotes, pero él ya hablaba sobre la importancia de estos síntomas que son tan peculiares y tan importantes en los medicamentos, que pertenecen solo a unos pocos medicamentos, que solo se han confirmado para pocos medicamentos y que solamente ocurrió durante las experimentaciones, o es un síntoma que en la práctica ha sido confirmado con mayor frecuencia para un determinado medicamento que para otros. Entonces, esto es muy importante saberlo porque sabemos que los Keynotes pertenecen solamente a estos medicamentos. Solo se han confirmado para estos medicamentos y se vio que se repitió muchas veces en las experimentaciones o que se ha confirmado con mucha frecuencia en los pacientes. Y aquí les quiero dar un ejemplo muy rápido antes de comenzar con la clase. I am going to give a little example of these about Keynotes before we begin with the session. El Keynote, por ejemplo, que aquí tengo el ejemplo de un Keynote importante. Tenemos que en el repertorio de Kent, en la rúbrica estómago, vómitos, tipos de agua, tipo de agua, noche por la, calcárea carbónica está con 3 puntos, junto con otros 4 medicamentos en letra normal, o sea, solo con 1 punto. Entonces, aquí ¿sería esto un Keynote o no sería un Keynote? Aquí nos explica que, de acuerdo al repertorio, este síntoma podría funcionar como un Keynote del repertorio, pero esto es algo que realmente vemos en la práctica. Esto no necesariamente se ve mucho en la práctica. Entonces, tenemos que esto sería un Keynote del repertorio, pero un verdadero Keynote del medicamento sería que el remedio, por ejemplo, calcárea carbónica, se encuentra en la rúbrica transpiración del cuero cabelludo, pero este remedio está junto con muchos otros medicamentos con la misma intensidad. Pero este medicamento, y se ha visto tantas veces este síntoma en este medicamento, que lo podemos considerar un Keynote. Entonces, dicho esto, podemos ahora sí empezar con nuestra sesión del día de hoy. Dice Classical Homeopath Channel, Ma'am, English Language, Muhammad Akhtar from Pakistan. Thank you very much, dear Muhammad. We are going to start right now with the session in English with subtitles in Spanish. I just wanted to give a little explanation about the keynotes. Dice, it says, Pramudlanki, whatever you talk in Spanish, we don't understand, but it sounds beautiful, dear. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much, dear Pramod. Así que el día de hoy vamos a comenzar con esta clase tan importante sobre los Keynotes. Pueden tener a la mano un cuaderno para empezar a anotar, pueden hacer sus anotaciones. If you have a notebook behind you, or if you like to do some remarks in your books, you can this is the time to bring your books because we are going to start. Así es que sin más habladuría, vamos a comenzar con la clase. Y me pueden también ir escribiendo si se escucha bien.
Many times, you have to prescribe very quickly, right? And in a busy practice. And so there are certain symptoms or signs that are almost sure that you don't need to take very thoroughly the case. Like with her, she puts here her hair and puts this like this. Says, okay, I go bring the remedy. Says, these are for children now. I'm going to talk about because I have found out that in spite of the fact that there are such signs, by taking a case thoroughly, you miss the right prescription. So, if you have these keynotes, which I'm going to tell you, the first remedy that you have to think and give is the one that I will mention. Not prepare you now. So, in children, from babies to 12-year-old children, if you see perspiration here on the cervical region during sleep, strong perspiration on here where the pillow becomes wet, the remedy is calcarea carbonica. Forget all the other remedies. Whether it is a pneumonia, whether it is diarrhea, whether it is nephritis, whether it's epilepsy, does not matter. Excessive salivation, which runs out of the mouth even when the child is held in the mother's lap. Comes the mother and the salivation runs out not only when the child is lying down, but when he's standing like this in the mother's lap. You see, the first remedy is mercury. You see them in the table, they take salt and they put it in their mouth. What is the remedy? The remedy is natrum muriaticum. But if you open the repertory, you will see several remedies there, with capital letters. None of these remedies will do this. The only remedy will do it is natrum muriaticum. Why? Because the craving is very strong. So natrum muriaticum is so. You examine the children, and you cannot find anything. And then you come and say, salt. Salt. She takes it and eats it. Finish the case. When you see an eruption in the nates and the perineum, like the one I showed you on the video, reddish, like this. It is pale red, it's not correct. It has to be reddish like her dress. Medorinum. Later on you can look. She is not in the mood. Repeated vomiting. In whatever case, but especially with coughing. Coughing which causes vomiting, ipecacuana. Children, they go to bed and they rattle. You know, the children, they go to bed, they rattle. Especially in the middle of the night, it becomes prominent, and many times they wake up also because of the noise, and the noise can be heard in the room. The remedy is kali sulfuricum. First, but the child seems to be afraid. It doesn't moan, it doesn't do anything, but is terrified, is afraid. Phosphorus. Thirst with fear. I told you, as an example, I will give you for phosphorus, maybe you don't understand, because you have to be observant in such cases, right? And the mother, many times, does not understand what's going on in the child, does not understand that the child is fearful. And I told you about this case with the meningitis, where the child was lying next to the mother, and the mother needed to hold the child's hand. And the child was afraid to be left alone. And the parents, though they were homeopaths, they could not see the picture. And when I went there, and they gave me all nonsense, because they say meningitis, they have this lumbar puncture, we had all this, and they give all this information. What is important for me is how much water the child was asking, and whether the mother could leave the child without holding the hand. And that was a cure of meningitis the same day. Phosphorus, especially, the children, they have fear of being left alone. They don't want to be left alone. They want, you see, desires company, fear of being alone. Big words on fingers. Big words on fingers. In the repertory, it says like an say, thuia. A lot of words on the face, big words, strong words. Calcarea carbonica. Calcarea carbonica in the face. Moaning and groaning, children with teething, of course, camomilla, but moaning and groaning and complaining and no reason for that. They cannot themselves give a reason, or you cannot find a reason. It is calcarea phosphorica. Open fontanelles, calcarea phosphorica. Open fontanelles, which have remained longer, fontanelles, which have remained, of course, longer than they should, again, calcarea phosphorica. Moaning with digestive troubles, either vomiting or diarrhea. Vomiting, diarrhea, either vomited or diarrhea, but the child is really cannot be satisfied, dissatisfied. What's the remedy? Antimonium crudum. Antimonium crudum. Hot head with cold feet. Belladonna. You see, these things you cannot go. What I say, you know, oh yes, we know. Forget it, we know. What I say is when you have that symptom, you think and give this remedy. This is the idea. Otherwise, most probably you'll make a mistake. I said pay attention, big attention to these symptoms. Otherwise, you will make a mistake. Hot head, but hot feet also. Again, with high fever and red face, because the face in belladonna is red. What is the remedy? Aconite. Aconite. When the red face is there, the head is hot, and then you touch the feet. But the feet are hot also, and the fever is high. The face is red. Then the remedy is aconite. Aconite. The position in children that they sleep with knee-elbow position, what they call knee-elbow position. If it is persistent, measuring. Which other remedies they sleep in that position? Kali carbonicum. Which other? No. Calcarea phosphorica. Calcarea phosphorica. Didn't we have here the case with the child that we analyzed the calcarea phosphorica? Yes. Colics in children, colics with rambling in regular intervals. Regular intervals. Every 2 hours, you know, they go away and again. And again. What is the remedy? What? Hina. No. What is the remedy? Forget it. Elysium. Elysium. Elysium, they give this, they used to give the old mothers, mothers, they give to give the mother tincture. Elysium. What's it called? I don't know. Colics, where the child has a lot of eructations. Colics in the abdomen with a lot of burping. Lycopodium. Colics where you turn the child on the abdomen and becomes quiet. Belladonna. Colic where you take the child and you press his feet don't think of another remedy. You have to give first this remedy. You cannot get away from the remedy. Each remedy has a very characteristic symptom. I would not say symptom. You know, what we call essence. Now we reduce the essence to one symptom to make it more practical, especially for children. Otherwise you are lost. If you have this, you can deal with most of your acute cases from the telephone, because these things are by telephone prescription. And as you know, the problem with homeopathy is that you undertake a case chronically, and then you have to treat every little thing which is happening in the child or in the grown-up. You have to take care of this and deal with that. It's terrible, because you are never paid for that, of course. Most people, they don't like, well, did I tell you that he had colics and you said this remedy and you want to be paid? What for? What? See. Policy to all this, yes. For all this so far. Except the Vaconite, you can go higher.
The last one was borax itself?
Borax. A lot of? Yes, whether, I gave an example. I said, you put your child down, never mind what he has. Maybe he has after. He doesn't have to have after. He may have colics. I mean, the inflammation may not be here. It might be deeper in the digestive tract, wherever it might be, in the stomach, in nephritis, in whatever. Fever which is not synchronous with the pulse. Fever which is not synchronous with the pulse. What does that mean? It means that when you have 39 fever, the pulse should be 110. If the fever is 39 and the pulse is 75, this is not synchronous. And the remedy always is pyrogenium. Very good. You know everything, sir. When you have a child who is restless, very restless, and the mother says they like very much salt and lemon, the remedy is veratrum album. Very good. You don't go away from this remedy. You may have other symptoms here and there, some keynotes, local keynotes, forget it. Just give paracetamol. Child touches his genitalia all the time, pareciamos. You got the remedy of your son. I'm in a position now I can read your thoughts. Don't think badly. Yes, we're not. Tremendous distension. The child is bloated. No gas. No gas. No burping. India? What? Daphne. Raphanus. Has to have pain for Raphanus. Pain in the left colic flexure, where it's incarcerated here and the pain is there. No, colchicum. Yeah. Distension, tremendous distension of abdomen where the air does not come out up or down, it's caught inside there, and there is dyspnea and there is all kinds of things. Colchicum. Vomiting immediately after drinking water. Phosphorus. Vomiting immediately after eating. Ferrum metallicum. No symptoms. You have a high fever. You have a tonsillitis. You have ferrum phosphoricum. No symptoms. You see high fever, you see inflammation somewhere, but the organism does not produce specific symptoms, pains or... So the mother will give you, says, that's all, he has a high fever. How he's doing? He walks around. Nothing else. No. He may have a pneumonia. And you do not understand how this is not, the coughing is not strong yet, etc. Ferrum phosphoricum will cut short. When a child wants to be caressed in the back, here, scratched, just a child that wants to be scratched, like this, he says, he likes it very much. That's a symptom of sulfur. Everybody likes to be scratched in the back. Ingrowing toenails in children. Silica. Very offensive perspiration, but not only from the foot, but all, the child has very offensive perspiration, not sour perspiration, offensive, really offensive perspiration. The remedy is psorinum. Psorinum. If the offensive perspiration is in the feet, it's a lot of remedies, then you cannot differentiate. But if the perspiration is really offensive and the child smells badly, and then you have sour perspiration, then you start to differentiate between calcarea carbonica and rheum. Rheum, R-H-E-U-M. Well, we can, of course, continue like this and differentiate this and this and this and this and that remedy, and then it becomes useless because you don't remember anything, forget everything, and says forget it. Let's go to the repertory again and start all over again. The idea is that with this information, you will be able to handle a lot of cases, acute cases, that otherwise will require a full repertorization. And it is no good for the homeopath unless it's under stress. It's no good to know the pathology and prescribe on pathology. Because if we start differentiating in diarrhea, you will set 35, 50 remedies in diarrhea, just try to remember. And then you differentiate the bronchitis and the type of coughs, you try to remember. Forget it. This is not to be remembered. The idea, now these little things, you can remember, most of them you know already with the materia medica, you can keep them in the mind. But try to remember everything which is in the materia medica and in details, like diarrhea or constipation, the types, etc. Forget it. You will tire your mind and you will not be able to do good work. I remember in one of the schools in Bombay Homeopathic College, there was a teacher who could quote by heart. He could quote the whole materia medica. So the students, they knew that if they go to be treated by him, could never find the remedy. He could not contact his brain and connect the information that was there with what he was seeing in front of him. So it can become, you can become addict in quoting symptoms without understanding the impact. So a good homeopath starts from basics, learns the basics, and adds with experience a little bit more, a little bit more, a bit more, a bit more. And I will tell you also my experience when I started treating patients. I had 3 months of study. I was studying for 3 months when I first took a case. And it was very successful. And then every case I took in South Africa, where I supposed to have studied only by myself, and what, it was unbelievable, the successes. I can say I lost no case. Now I can lose cases. By that time, no. Why? Because I understood the method. I did not know, I had no experience, I had no all this knowledge, But I understood what I had to do, how I had to study, how to take a case, what was important in the case, and I had to connect the important things, what I could see. I was observing very much every case, of course, and what I see, what is most important, what's the stress that. Then I go and read all the material medical. Now, this remedy stresses that point. The liver, she has the liver. Okay, chelidonium, just give us chelidonium. This is the idea. You cannot learn all the materia medica by heart. Neither you should believe that anybody knows materia medica by heart. It's not possible. So, therefore, you need only a good system and study of the case. You see, we come down to arsenicum when we study her case, but we came down to arsenicum by thinking a lot about the case. And then aconitum, and then this and that, phosphorus again, etc. And then finally something clicks. Starts perspiring. I have told you again that in South Africa, one of my first cases was a young pianist whom I liked very much as a woman. I like her. And I took her case, and I wanted to cure her. And I studied the case. No medicine. And I studied a whole day. I remember I was studying the case, repertorizing this way, that way, this way, that way. Nothing. I went to bed, I slept. Next day, I woke up. As I woke up, everything was in my brain. I said, my God, the remedy is Ignacia. I gave Ignacia, it was a beautiful cure. I mean, such was the passion for finding the correct remedy that all the information stayed with me during sleep. It went through the computer, and the moment I woke up, I said, the remedies, oh my God, the remedies. I had studied all angles. I was not happy. I was not satisfied. This remedy, that remedy, that, nothing. Suddenly made sense. You know, this. Oh. Give it. This is the idea that if you have this feeling, the remedy is going to act. You have that feeling, now I got it. It's a click. And many times, this feeling has come, you have sat with a person, you have sat and studied, and again you sat and you discuss. And suddenly you go out and friendly you speak. And she says two things and makes sense and you find the remedy. It's very strange. It's very strange. You have to know so much, and yet the real information which you need is so little, so few. That's why in the old times, homeopaths, they would prescribe on keynotes. They said keynotes. And they had success, of course. But today, the pathology is so complicated and so gone inside the mental emotional pathology that things are not anymore as simple as they used to be.
Esa fue la clase del profesor Vithoulkas. Perdón. Aquí voy a compartir nuevamente mi pantalla y les voy a recordar a todos aquellos que estén interesados en tomar el programa e-learning, pueden tomar una prueba gratuita en donde encuentren esta clase y pueden encontrar esta clase y pueden encontrar otras clases más. Se pueden registrar con este código QR. Ustedes van a descargar el currículum del programa e-learning en donde viene toda la información. To all our English speakers, if you would like to register for a free trial, you can scan this code with your telephone, and then with this code, you will download the curriculum of the Professor George Vithoulkas. And then if you would like to register for a free trial, you can scan this code. Este código es para español, pero si ustedes les gustaría también tomar el programa e-learning en otro idioma, también pueden registrarse directamente en la página de e-learning. Les voy a poner la página en los comentarios. Y ya para despedirnos, quiero darle las gracias a todos los que nos acompañaron el día de hoy, a los que me faltaron de saludar. Voy a darle las gracias al doctor Ramón. Muchas gracias, doctor Ramón, por acompañarnos. Al doctor Misael Peña, también muchas gracias, doctor, por acompañarnos. Dice desde Guadalajara, Jalisco, México. Dice MD Nellas, dice, good give you a healthy and long life. Respected, dear George Vithoulkas, sir. Thank you very much, dear MD Nellas. Xochitl de la Vega, quedará grabado. Fernanda, tuve una emergencia. Sí, así es, va a quedar aquí en YouTube. Y dice, Jovan Leiva, dice, saludos, Misael, me encantó tu libro rojo, El significado de la materia médica. Muchas gracias, Jovan, y muchas gracias también al doctor Misael por su libro. A Gosia Raxa, dice, en Poland, thank you very much, Gosia, for your comments. Manfred, muchas gracias nuevamente. Y Salet, maravilloso como siempre, es el maestro. Pues con eso nos despedimos entonces. Nuevamente muchas gracias por estar aquí. Vamos a ver la posibilidad de estar haciendo más clases como esta. Vamos a ver la posibilidad de estar compartiendo más clases como esta. Voy a dejar de compartir mi pantalla para poderme despedir ahora sí bien. Y pues entonces nos estamos viendo en las próximas en vivos, en español y en inglés. To all our English speakers, next Tuesday we will have a live session with Dr. Dimple from New Zealand. Dr. Vera Shah will do an interview to Dimple. So we would love to see all of you there on Tuesday. I'm going to share the link on the social media so you can join us that day on Tuesday. So thank you very much to all. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí. Nos vemos en la próxima, en el próximo en vivo y nuevamente gracias. Espero que tengan un excelente fin de semana. Gracias a todos los que nos acompañaron de otros países. Thank you to all that join us from all over the world, from Pakistan, from Germany, from Poland, from Greece. Gracias a todos los que nos acompañaron desde Polonia, desde Grecia, Alemania. Y nos vemos entonces en la próxima transmisión. Gracias por conectarse. Hasta luego. Bye.